Hi everybody, Mrs. Harris here. Our I Can statement today is, I can create a rainy day with an umbrella full of 8 colorful patterns in 8 sections. We're going to quickly review the water cycle. Evaporation occurs when water that is already on the earth is heated by the sun, changing it from a liquid form to a gas known as a water vapor. Condensation occurs after the water vapor. It rises into the air where it cools and gathers in the clouds into a liquid form. Precipitation happens next, when the water falls back to the earth in the form of rain, snow, sleet, and hail. Once the water has fallen back to the ground, it is heated again by the sun and the cycle starts all over again. Many famous artists like Rembrandt illustrated the rain. This one was done in 1643. Here's another one. It was done in 1791. I love this one. John Constable, 1827. You can see the anger within the sky. This one's really fun, by William Turner. It's called Rain, Storm, and Speed, 1844. You can see the train racing through the rain. This one is my all-time favorite. Paris Street Rainy Day, 1877. Again, we're going to make a rainy day. Let's go! In our drawing, we're going to be adding boots and a puddle for us to stand in. We don't need to draw our entire body. We're just drawing us from the waist down. Let's begin. We're going to create our portrait of ourselves in the rain with an umbrella. And how I started this was really kind of fun. I put my hand on the paper, and down where my palm landed, I put a little dot. So I didn't really measure, I just used my hand size. And then I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines, and I had to make sure I went all the way around, and I'm adding these lightly because otherwise it's going to get too confusing if I need to erase. So right now I think I've got 6, 7, 8. Then how I created this line, think about a smiley face. When you create a little guy with a smiley face, so I took my smiley face and I connected my lines. So I might pull these lines up a little bit more because I want it to reach more towards the top of my paper. And I just did this all the way around. I'm going to end up with 8 different sections. Oops, look, I started to make a frowny face and it didn't work. It doesn't look like an umbrella. Just erase it, make your smiley face and your smiley face. I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots. Next thing I want to do is I want to create my body. Now I made this one kind of look like a dress. I could make it look like I've got a shirt on. I'm going to bring it down. Now the one thing I want to do is I really want to think about space here. This puddle that I created that I'm standing in, if I put it up too high, I would look kind of short. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a puddle there so I know where I want to go. Notice how wiggly jiggly my lines are. They're not sharp. They're just wiggly jiggly. I'm going to create a rectangle. Now you're thinking to yourself, Mrs. Harris, that does not look like a person. It looks like a rectangle, but it's the start of my person. I'm going to have this person wearing a jacket. It might be a boy, it might be a girl, whatever you want to draw. It'd be kind of neat to draw yourself. Now notice what I did. I went around the rectangle. I made it larger than the rectangle. Now all of a sudden it looks like it's got form or shape. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up into 2 legs. Now I'm looking at these legs going, a little bit thick, so I'm going to erase this line because it's a little bit too big. And that's what happens in art. Sometimes we make choices and we've got to change them up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, when I look at this, I can't see both boots, but I'm going to have this boot come down because I'm in my rain boots, and I'm going to curve it. But that other boot I wouldn't see. The edge of my puddle I wouldn't see. So I'm going to erase those lines because I don't want to get confused. And remember, I started with a rectangle shape. Remember, when we draw, we're always looking for simple shapes, and that's what I did. Notice now the bottom is no longer a rectangle. You can see my boot. Now, it looks like my boots go all the way up past my rain slicker or my raincoat, whatever you want to call it. I want it to look like the boots are on me, so I'm going to draw a line like this, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to drop it down a little bit, and I'm going to go there. Now I'm just going to clean this up right here a little bit. Whoops, I didn't do a very good job there. I put right back in there what I had. All right, bring that here. Notice these lines don't line up because the boots are spaced a little bit apart because the way that we're standing. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and black marker this and I'll be right back. All right, so I've gone ahead and black markered, and then I went through and I erased all my pencil lines. My pencil lines I didn't line up really well, so I had to do quite a bit of erasing. We're gonna use crayons to add color to this. This is a yellow coat of mine, so I'm gonna color this in solid yellow. This is not coloring, friends, where you do something like this and you tell me that you're done. Coloring is gonna be nice and solid, so let's go ahead and do that. There we go. That's what good coloring looks like. Now, what I want to do up in my umbrella, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different sections for patterns. You know how crazy Mrs. Harris is about patterns. So I'm going to start with my orange crayon. Again, I'm doing this all with crayon, and I'm creating polka dots. And as I create those polka dots, I'm coloring them in nicely. I can't leave a section of my umbrella white. Remember, sometimes those polka dots are going to go off the page. So I'm going to have a half of a polka dot. Don't be afraid to do that. Let them go off. Again, this will all be done with crayon, all your pattern. Now, I can't leave the background white, so I'm going to have to add a color in there as soon as I finish my polka dots. So notice that my purple is consistent. I didn't go over the orange. The orange is still there, so everything looks really good. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run down and do a little bit of this so you can see what I would do here. I'm gonna take this blue and I'm gonna push and I'm gonna create what kind of looks like a ripple effect, like the raindrops are falling, and you'll see why in just a second. And again, this is a pattern. You could do this, you could even do some swirly shapes like this if you wanted to. The choice is yours as an artist, what you guys do, but I'm just doing this real quick. The next thing I'm gonna do is I am gonna go over top of it real lightly. I can color right on top of the blue because it's the same blue. If it begins to disappear like it kind of is, I need to go over it and really make it emphasize again. So I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna come right back. All right, you can see that I had to go back over it because I completely made it disappear. What I'm gonna do next is I'm going to cut it out. I also went over it a little bit with some purple, not over the blue circles, but just around it. We are gonna cut this out because we are going to attach it to a piece of black construction paper. And when I'm cutting it out, I'm going to leave that little lip like we always do. Remember, this is the area of your scissors that cut. I'm gonna be turning the paper as I cut. And you're gonna cut this all the way out. All right, you can see I've got it all cut out. Now we get to add the raindrops. You can use two things, colored white pencil or the white crayon. You wanna be careful, you don't want long raindrops, and they each work a little bit differently. You know, the white pencil is gonna be a little bit more intense than the white crayon. You can create rain that is coming down in a direction, coming on a diagonal, coming straight down. You don't want super long raindrops. We just want some raindrops for our picture. I'm gonna have mine coming in on this diagonal. I'm gonna fill the page. I'm not gonna worry about coming down towards the bottom because when I put myself down there, it's not gonna go past here because this is the bottom of it. And you can begin to already see what the raindrops are gonna look like. Try not to make patterns in there, just randomly place them, let them come off the page. And again, April showers are gonna bring May flowers. You're gonna glue it down and we'll put a name tag here and we'll be done. Perfect.